The Yellow Vest protests in France. So they passed week 21 this week. I nearly said Paris there, and Paris would have been wrong. It's actually France. I'll show you that in a minute. So yeah, it's week 21. Not that you would know it if you got the information from, or your information from the mainstream media in this country, the printed press or the BBC, because that's probably got something to do with this, because this is the state of this is the state of our Prime Minister at the moment.
Over the last few days, people have been asking me what on earth's happening with Brexit.
She's in a bit of trouble, and the whole of the bloody government are in a bit of a trouble at the moment. So it's probably got something to do with that the media aren't, you know, covering the Yellow Vest process, the Yellow Vest protest rather. And knowing how subservient the media are to the Dark Lord and Empire she commands, they are no doubt not covering it because it's actually working. They are actually getting their way. The Yellow Vests are. France plans tax cuts to quell Yellow Vest anger. This was just yesterday in the BBC. Strange, they covered this in the BBC, but they didn't cover, you know, the sort of stuff that I'm going to be covering in a little bit, because these protests show no sign of slowing down whatsoever. Week 21 it is, and there was an estimated last week 110,000. I think that was just in Paris. And looking at the size of the crowds I saw, yeah, it really was. They were quite huge. They were massive, in fact. And not only is it working, which is one reason the media aren't covering it, of course, you know, threat of a good idea and all that. But the way Macron's forces are treating the protesters, the way the police are treating the protesters, is really quite what's the word? Israeli-like, Israeli IDF-like, shall we say? Just take a look at this. You're not going to believe what you're about to see. Well, you are. It's just a minute long. These are the police. Watch what they do. And pay particular attention to the blonde lady who gets hit twice, and just listen to her screaming. This is incredible that the media are not covering this. It's incredible. They just start grabbing people randomly and kicking the shit out of them. This was the weekend in, I believe this was Paris. Now watch the blonde lady coming to shit. Watch this blonde lady now. Watch him. Whack. Can you hear her screaming? It's like Beirut, Baghdad. You can still hear that woman screaming in the background. It's absolutely insane. And the media are just not covering it at all. Now, I wonder, do you think that they would be interested in that sort of antics by the police and the protesters if they were, they said by the police if they were, I don't know, pro-Guaido supporters in Venezuela and those were Maduro's police, Maduro's police in Venezuela? Yeah, Maduro. Do you think that would be what it would be covering it then? If that was Maduro's police chasing, you know, the pro-Guaido supporters rather than anti-Macron? Do you see? You see the hypocrisy and the propaganda of the media, because those protests are working, as I've said. Macron has already Let me show you this. Macron has already had to back down. He was acting all big and saying that he was going to block Brexit. He was acting all big. And he was having to do this, I think, because of the pressure that he's got, that he's under at home. But then, obviously, he's capitulated and done a U-turn and passed it today. So, and if you want an update on Brexit, by the way, yeah. Honestly,
for the last few days,
that pretty much
people have been asking me what on earth's happening.
Yeah, that's the state of Brexit, and it will continue to do that until they decide, yeah, you didn't vote the right way last time. We're going to have another referendum. Mark my words, I think it's coming. Macron has obviously capitulated then, and that's not going to help his approval ratings at home at all, because he's a neoliberal, pro-corporatist cuck. But it's not just Paris. Let me show you this is going on. This is a thread that I found on Twitter. Great. I've started following this guy. He's really been tweeting it out. You can see here. This is Rouen. Rouen. Whoever the hell that is. That's Rouen again. And there's plenty other cities. Here's the size of the crowds in Paris. A bit further down, that's Paris. Paris again. These are big crowds, and the media are ignoring it. It's not just Paris. That's another Paris one. That's Paris. Look at all these people. They keep saying that the turnout is down in the media. That's how the media keep saying it. I think they're lying. Look at these massive amounts of people. And this was, again, I think this was just, I mean, it goes on. I saw one earlier where they had it sped up. It was going on for ages. There were hundreds of thousands of people there. And it's not just, here is, I think this is Montpellier, isn't it? No, that's Rouen again. There's also, that's Rouen. That's Paris, Montpellier, there's another. These cities get all over France, this is going on. All over France. This is why I think the UK media are not covering these protests at all. They're scared it's going to spread over here. That's what they are, and they're you know, they've been told. I'm sure they have, or they're doing it, you know, without being told because they're good little, you know, subservient to their masters. Like I say, they're good little corporate and establishment mouthpieces. They're keeping quiet because they know the government don't want it to spread over here. But the thing is, if you look at the state of Brexit at the moment, and you look at the state of the country, I think it's pretty clear that, you know what? That movement's going to come here sooner or later. And I can't wait. I don't know about you. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you're still subscribed and click the bell below for a notification of when I drop further videos. Also, click through to my website to find out ways which you can support me. I can't do this without your support, and I really appreciate it. Till next time, peace and take care.